we've got 8 solar farms around New Zealand as it stands. They're operational and spread across the country. More than 40, though, are in various stages of development, with New Zealand's biggest solar farm coming to the Waikato, with construction due to begin this year. The Tauhei solar farm near Te Aroha is jointly owned by Harmony Energy, which is based in the UK, and Claris Company, First Renewables Limited, that's based in New Zealand. This one is going to stretch over 182 hectares and will be on a scale unlike of what New Zealand has seen before. She's a biggie. Of course, not all are happy with it, but at the time of the commissioning in late 2026, they say this solar farm will generate 280 gigawatt hours of electricity per year, which is enough renewable energy to supply the equivalent of approximately 35,000 homes. And while this solar farm looks like, well, it's got the go-ahead, in North Canterbury, now we head to North Canterbury, a community is vowing to look into a proposed solar farm near their homes. This is Energy Bay, which is an Australian company. They've applied to the Waimakariri District Council for a resource consent. They want to build and operate a solar farm on 80 hectares on Upper Sefton Road, north of Rangiora. David Fordyce is a spokesman for the residents. He says neighbours planned a short meeting after hearing the council had notified the consent, and he joins me now. David, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah. Thanks for having me on.
No, look, it's good to have a chat actually about this because, I mean, you know, we've got more coming to New Zealand to be built. So, you know, I think it's a good topic to kind of dive into. And for you, David, where you are, what's the major concern of the residents about this proposed solar farm?
Well, probably the first thing that we're worried about is that the farm's being proposed to be put on some LUC2 land, which means it's highly productive farmland, and it was protected by a national policy statement by the previous government, and it is mandated purely for pastoral farming. But other than that, there are 22 houses that are going to be immediately affected by this. One of them will have solar panels within 30 metres of their lounge.
Oh, that is close.
When we say solar panels, they're actually multiple panels on a sort of like a blockwork.
Yes.
And at their highest point, they're going to be 4.2 metres off the ground, or nearly 5 metres off the ground, actually.
Right.
So 16 feet, so more than almost a second-storey building.
And what if I saw in the story that overseas recommendations advise not to live within 2.2 kilometres of a solar farm. Is that correct? And where you're talking 30 metres?
There is a lot of information on the net that talks about how close you should be, but certainly overseas, like Florida, for example, they can't put a solar farm within 1.5 miles of a residence.
Wow. David, there is no, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no active consent application, is there, but a resource consent was required for the solar farm and none have been granted yet.
No, nothing's been granted, but there is one in the pipeline that we're trying to organise to oppose.
Sure.
Now, don't get me wrong, we're not against solar farming. We've got thousands of hectares of really poor land in North Canterbury, old riverbeds and things like that, where solar farms would be perfectly fine. But this pastoral land is down to about 5% of good quality pastoral land in New Zealand.
So the point here, David, is like you said, you're not against a solar farm per se. It's just it's on protected. Well, you say protected land and good pastoral farmland, and the fact too that it seems 22 houses are going to be within 30 metres of this farm, which does sound awfully close. Have you met? I know some of the residents met with Mayor Dan Gordon and one of the district council planning managers to talk about concerns. Were you part of that, and how did that go?
Yes, I was part of that. I've actually spoken to the council, we made a presentation to the council meeting,
Right.
and one to both the local community boards. They were receptive,
Yeah.
but I get the feeling, and a lot of the people involved get the feeling, that they're tending to back the outsider rather than look after their ratepayers' issues.
Oh, geez, sorry, just grab a mic then. So
all right.
where to? Okay, so you had your meeting. It was kind of cordial, but you kind of have a feeling that it's may not kind of turn out how you want. Isn't a new thing though, isn't it? Did you back in 2023? Was there also concerns raised about something similar, or is that completely different?
This site and this company, I think this is their third or fourth application for a consent.
Oh, they want it. They want it, David. They want it bad.
I know they do, but the only real reason they want it where it is because there's a nice, healthy Transpower substation right next door.
Right.
So
there we go.
It saves them a lot of money.
Yep. It's easy to get it converted. Or
we had a meeting last night, Leah. We put out a flyer through our rural mail system.
Yeah.
And we had 65 people turn up last night to listen to our speakers and get ready to put in submissions on the consent that's supposedly going ahead.
Yeah. So, you're saying 65 are again writing their concerns. They're not saying, yes, let's get on with it.
Well, we don't ask them what their point of view is. They're entitled to whatever they want, but everyone seemed to be particularly worried. There's all sorts of issues with glint and glare on the roads and other things. There's a Hurinui water system well 800 metres below this, away from this site, and it's below the elevation of the site. So if there's any leakage or heavy metals get out, it'll be going straight through into the water well.
Gosh, this doesn't sound well thought out. But like you said, it's about the money, I suppose. It's always about the money, honey.
Follow the dollar.
Follow the dollar, David. Hey, look, thank you for your time. And speaking of, we'll follow this as well and be interested to maybe chat to you again and see where the residents and where you have got to. But thank you for your time, David. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Leah. It's great to have a platform like this.
Thank you, David. Good luck. David Fordyce there. There's a few things here. And David, as you said, the residents are not opposed to a solar farm. I mean, 30 metres from your house, that's darn close. Is it not? 22 homes will be looking out onto them. As David says, they will be elevated off the ground. Like I said, I myself have not walked into a solar farm, but the glint, I could imagine, when the sun's on it is not would be difficult.